getting us where we are today, and that'll happen later. At this time, what I'd like to happen is our scouts march on the colors.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I'd like to have John Sheehan, AMVET's State Chaplain.
Uncover, please. Let us pray. O God, we invoke thy blessing on all of us assembled here in the dedication of this tank for Jonathan's memory. God, we beseech thee that this memorial be hallowed with deeds of love and service to God and country. Instill in the hearts of all who will meet here inspiration to be true and to the ideals of this great country, and to quicken their spirit of comradeship. Bless those who have worked and sacrificed to make this memorial a reality, and to preserve in the hearts the traditions of our military forces. May this tank be for those the ultimate sacrifice and memorial for the time in war and the time in peace. Amen. Cover.
This time I would ask John Rubers to speak.
I'm going to try to get through this. The story is about the park. This is the 4th anniversary of our son, CSC Jonathan Roberge, who died in Mosul, Iraq. It's a very fitting day for us to be here and dedicate a tank as important a part of the promise to be a very beautiful park. The park is named in his honor, Johnny Roll Veterans Memorial Park. As time has gone on, the story of the park began. Back in October 2010, my friends, Dave Knoll, Tucker Hazard, Billy Charpentier called me one afternoon to have coffee. At which time they told me they wanted to build a park in honor of my son, Jonathan. The park would be located at the end of Mechanic Street. Would be located on Mechanic Street at the end of Johnny Appleseed Lane. They also told me I could have anything I wanted in the park. Well, guess what? I called their bluff and told them I wanted a tank. The tank was a perfect tribute for him. For the rest of the park, I said I really didn't care. Pauline said if there was going to be a park, she wanted a statue of Jonathan, and so it started. The ideas began there. And then Tucker said, now I don't know how many of you know Tucker. Here we go. We could have a fountain. We could have a playground. Sandboxes. 2 pieces of granite that resemble the Twin Towers. And a bridge that goes over the spillway with benches. As Pauline and I talked more about the park, we thought this park should not be just about Jonathan, about all the soldiers from Massachusetts who've given their life in this war. So that is the direction and the path we have chosen. Next, the monument from Phil Cody came about, and that evolved as well. The park went through a bunch of changes, trying to cut some of the costs. One day, I received an envelope from Mark Wagner in the Air Force. He sent some pictures from a memorial in Iraq, and it had Jonathan's name on it. It was built by the soldiers, for the soldiers. The monument is called the Kirkuk. It consists of 22 T-walls. This memorial is at a helipad where all the distinguished visitors to the base land. This wall has 4,408 names on it, and it is 280 feet long. I thought making a replica of this should also be in the park. I feel this is part of the history of the war and is very heartfelt. Then we decided that pictures should be involved in the park because every park has names. But I wanted people to see the faces, not just names. I feel it puts more meaning into the project, as when you see a face, it seems to matter more. The 4 field crosses in the park are the soldiers that were killed alongside with Jonathan on February 9th. I'm kind of a big deal printed on the barrel of the tank is what Jonathan would say when he spoke. He felt he may have had the lowest rank, but was the biggest deal. He was the general's driver. The monument being selfish is Jonathan leaving us looking back to where he came from. And on the opposite side of the wall are the men that died with him. Lieutenant Colonel Garnett Derby, Sergeant Joshua Ward, Specialist Alex Jacks, and PFC Jonathan Rolberg. Our goal is never to forget these men and women. I also would like everyone to know that there are 139 soldiers from Massachusetts that have been killed in the Iraq and Afghan war. They will also be in this park. That's what the pictures are about. As the park started, I want everybody here to understand how many people it took to get this far. So I'm going to call out people, and if you're here, I would ask you to come forward, please. Is Dave Nault here? Is Tucker Hazard here? Billy Charpentier. Dennis Rosa. Senator Flanagan. The mayor and his staff. The city council. Is anybody here from McCarty and Sons? They did the engineering. The DPW crew. They've been down here on weekends spending their time grading, filling, digging, taking out tree stumps. If anybody from the DPW is here and you have worked in the park, could you please come forward? Greg Billows, the original designer. Earth Solutions. Stephen Boucher. Stevie has donated all the fill in the park, and it's thousands of yards, and has not accepted a dime. F Troop. Leominster Police Department. Leominster Fire Department. I know there's a guy here from the Leominster Fire Department. He can't hide. The Leominster Veterans Department. The town of Brattleboro, North Carolina, where the tank came from. Superior Crane is the company that moved the tank from North Carolina to here. Here comes F Troop. Steel Fab. I know there's guys here from Steel Fab. Performance Trucking moved the tank from Steelstad to here. They're in Pittsburgh. Astro Crane. My help. Is any of my help here? Jake. Anthony here? No. Mike McAllister and his crew poured the pad. Is Mike here? The U.S. Army donated the tank. Dan Salafia, I know he's here somewhere. He did the wiring. Well, put the conduit in for the tank pad, I should say. Sterling Concrete donated the concrete. IC Federal Credit Union. Is there anybody here from them? They keep doing fundraisers for us and fundraisers for us. The Leominster High School band booster parents, they keep doing fundraisers for us. St. Leo's Catholic School did a penny drive. And where's Billy? You know how much money that was? $1,700 in pennies. Think about that. Mike Cooley from Cool Talks and the Luxury Box, they did a fundraiser for us. Blue Star Mothers, is there any Blue Star Mothers? VFW Post 1807. Hamvets Post 38. American Legion Post 151. Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 116. DAV Chapter 24. Franco-American War Vets. Military Friends Foundation. D&G Graphics is doing all the pictures for us. Tony Mangiacotti, I know he's here hiding someplace. He's the guy. There's a big granite block that is over there, which is going to be the sign for the park. Here comes Tony. The Champion, Diane Bedoin. The Sentinel and Enterprise. WBZ, Ken McLeod. American Baseball League on 12th Street. Is there anybody here from there? My brother-in-law Fran's here. I know he is. Fran, get out here. Bruce Hamilton. He's the architect that designed the final plans for the park. The Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. If they're Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts here. And if you're one of the people, I don't mean to miss anybody, but a lot of people just mailed checks or donated time. We had a sign up one day on a Saturday, and a whole crew of people came and worked. If you're one of those people, can you come forward? I would just like people to understand that this is a community project, and without everybody's help, this isn't going to happen. And as you can see, after 27 months, we're going forward, and this really is a big deal. Thank you.
I just want to say that as part of our Old British family, you know, looking around and just to see, you know, our biggest worry was always them being forgotten. And I look around and you think, you know, we come to these ceremonies and we only see, you know, the adults. And I look around and I see the kids' faces. And, you know, to look and to see that the kids are here too. And to know that the community has come together to do this for us. And to do this to remember the fallen of the United States of America. America is land of the free because the brave. We were put here because of everyone's sacrifice that ever did anything to let us be free. Like my brother Jonathan. I can't thank you all enough.
up on the floor. In between speakers at 1:35, we're going to play taps. So we're still going to be in between speakers. So if you're one of the speakers that gets paused, 1:35 is the time of Jonathan's death. So we're going to play taps. At this time, let's have Mayor Dean Mazzarella.
Good afternoon. John, you kept a good list. Sometimes in life we forget to write all these things down and to thank everybody. You know what I mean, right? And you mean to do it, and sometimes you didn't get the chance, but I asked Paula, I said, did you write that list? And she said, no. Because, you know, those guys are doing sort of these technical things. You know, we run so far ahead of ourselves that sometimes we try to go back later and recreate something that is impossible, but that's quite a list. You did a good job. And I think the greatest gift that you could give is to be here today and not to forget. I think that's the greatest fear of any family, is that people forget. And by judging the fact that yesterday was the 4th largest snowstorm on record, and we're standing here today, is remarkable. But so is everything that John described today, remarkable. But what a beautiful spot here, with the river in the back. I mean, it's just a beautiful setting, and just couldn't have picked a better spot. It's a real special place here. And even with the highway there, you can barely hear it. Thank you. I think John said a lot of DPW workers, a lot of people came down here who want no recognition. They don't want to be up here. They just want to see the job done. And they spent a lot of time here through the summer. A lot of pickers here. A lot of pickers and brush. But this is what Leominster's all about. This is our community. And all of our veterans today, just raise your hand if you're here. We understand. General, you know this, right? Freedom's not free. And you see it so many times, and I'm sure it's one of the hardest parts of your job. But you can see here in Leominster, we understand the importance of sacrifice and the importance of supporting the families who gave. John, I know Tucker has it. I know what happens when Tucker gets involved in a project, and let me just say it's because of Tucker that we got this piece of land here to begin with. It was, Tucker usually thinks of things, I think, late at night, and then he usually makes an appearance first thing in the morning with an idea. And Tucker, long before, came to us and said, this is a really special piece of land here. Little did Tucker know that he would make it even specialer, I guess, or more special. Veterans, if you could come up at the closing of this ceremony so we could get a picture of you, that would be great. Also, there's a shuttle. The MARC bus is right behind here, and when you leave, we will shuttle you back to the 2 parking lots if you'd like. To the Robridge family, we'll continue as a city to support you in any way that we can, whatever I think you need. You just say what you need, and I think the community's here to support you. We appreciate your sacrifice, and Leominster will never forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. If we could have Senator Flanagan.
I just want to thank you so much for coming here today. You know, after yesterday, and I'm sure many of you have a lot of things to be doing at home, it's really important that we're here to support the Robridge family. And I do have to say that in the time that I've been elected, I don't think I've ever been asked to bring a tank home through the legislative process. But my colleagues and I on Beacon Hill, we're happy to help in the small way that we can because we know how important this is. And over time, as this park begins to develop and when it's finally finished, hopefully in the next couple of years, we're all going to be able to remember not only the sacrifice that Jonathan made, but the sacrifice that all of the soldiers that have made overseas, and that we'll continue to remember them and keep them in our prayers. So thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to the unveiling.
Representative Rosa or Tucker?
Good morning or good afternoon. I'm an aide to Representative Rosa. Unfortunately, he had surgery on his neck. It's a lingering problem for him right now. And he came down with this little bug that's been floating around our city. Otherwise, he would definitely be here. The only thing I'd like to mention, like the Senator gave, the state recognizes Jonathan's sacrifice they did so by honoring our community with $10,000 to go towards the purchase or the delivery of the tank. And in this economy, that's not very easy to do. So again, I think our representative did a great job. And in the Senate, we have a wonderful senator, and they got it done. 10,000 is a drop to what we need, but it's a good drop. And let's keep it going and make that drop into a whole bucket. Thank you, Lumberton.
City Council President Susan Shalafo-Zephyr.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here this morning with all of you. One definition of memorial is something that keeps remembrance alive. And in that light, I can't help but think that this tank unveiling at this memorial park could not be a better, I can't think of another memorial that would be a better fitting. For Mr. Roberge, for Jonathan Roberge, and for all of our veterans. These days we have a very active veterans organization led by Mr. Votor and active groups throughout the city. And they take care of our veterans each and every day and honor our veterans each and every day. And I hope that, you know, Pauline and John Roberge and their family and all of our veterans and their family take comfort knowing that long after we have all come and gone from this place, this tank, this park, this memorial will still be here, and it will stand in honor and remembrance of PFC Jonathan Roberge and all of our veterans who have served our country so bravely. Thank you.
All right, at this time I'd like to introduce Brigadier General Sellers. He's a retired general now. He was the former commander of the Massachusetts Army National Guard. Roughly, I think in 1977, he started as an enlisted man and worked his way up to general. Sure.
I mentioned a little earlier to Senator Flanagan that as I was walking up, it came to my mind again. Here I am with plastic shoes on a snowy day. What could possibly go wrong? But Mayor Mazzarella, Senator Flanagan, John, Pauline, Andrew, I know the girls can't be here today, but I'm sure that you're going to be able to describe the great turnout from the community. So it really is, it's really a pleasure for me to be able to be here. As by way of a quick introduction, I currently serve as the Assistant Adjutant General after I retired militarily as the Army Commander. Previous to meeting John and Pauline here in the unfortunate circumstances that we found ourselves in 2009, my last experience with the Leominster area was the ice storm in 2008. So today is much more pleasurable. It's a little bit warmer, and I feel as though I'm really amongst friends today, and I appreciate that. So good afternoon. PFC Jonathan Roberge, Lieutenant Colonel Derby of Montana, Sergeant Ward of Kentucky, and Specialist Jakes of Arizona. 9 February 2009, Mosul, Iraq. Were killed in action in the service of their country. And frankly, it is something that, being an Iraq campaign veteran myself, that I take great pride in the service of these soldiers. They've done some amazing things. But what you see before us today here in this park dedication, personally I see it as what is really great about America. It really represents the very best. It's a community coming together to recognize the service, the dedication, and the sacrifice of one of its very own sons in the service of its country. So the political leaders that we have here today, the civic leaders, the business leaders, the roster that John had described a little bit earlier of the participants in this assemblage of the park and the dedication, it really is the definition of what is the best about America, community coming together. So it is my personal hope that Jonathan's name and memory will live through and and become part of what it is that it means to be a resident and citizen of Leominster. It is really an opportunity to do what is right by an American soldier. And as I mentioned, having seen the quality of our young people as they serve overseas, it would really make you extremely proud of what this nation provides in its very best of its young people. So, John, Pauline, thank you very much for inviting me here today. Senator, always great to see you. Mayor, great to see you in circumstances other than the ice storm. But it is really a pleasure to be here today. And I really consider Leominster as a special place for me and the members of Massachusetts National Guard as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, General. At this time, we're going to play taps to honor PFC Jonathan Roberge. We can have our taps player. Thank you. Now we're going to have some upbeat music with the Fallbrook Songbirds. If you've never seen or if you haven't seen them before, you're in for a treat.
just one stone, one magic song that everyone could sing. We could sing about of hope and joy and things that peace could bring. And when we sang our magic song, all hate and war would cease. With just one song, one magic song, the world would fill with peace. One song for all of us. One song to bring us peace. One song to sing a miracle for all of us. A song of peace, a song of peace. One song to sing a miracle for all of us. A song of peace, a song of What a blaze of color graces the sky. Each time I see your glory passing by, I get a thrill down deep inside. I love my country, it fills my heart with pride. This is America, the land of the free, home of the brave and strong. Oh, I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, and this is where I belong. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle do or die. A real life nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I'm proud to live here in the USA. This is the place where I belong. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride the ponies. This is my Yankee Doodle song. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle fly. I agree with my uncle said. I love the culture you like. I'm proud to live in the USA. This is the place where I belong. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride a pony. This is where I belong. Yes, sir. This is where I belong. Thank you.
Good job.
Sheehan, come on up. John Sheehan, closing prayer.
Let us pray. As we depart today, may God bless us and keep us. Into His gracious protection we commit ourselves. May He be near us to defend us, with us to refresh us, around us to preserve us, before us to guide us, behind us to justify us. And may God's blessing be upon us all and remain with us always. Amen.
Okay, at this time we're going to unveil the tank, and we would ask that any Steel Fab employees come on up and give us a hand, seeing as though you did the lion's share of the work prettifying the tank. Oh, and actually we got a call from the Army and they don't like the color, so apparently there's no racing stripes.
But I got
Everybody thought it was a boat.
All right, this concludes our tank unveiling ceremony. We would like all veterans to come up for a photo op. You are reminded that the MART bus will take you to Crossroads Office Park and D.H. Adams parking lot. There is refreshments at the Leominster Veterans Center. That's 100 West Street. We certainly will not fit all of you in there, but you can get a slice of pizza and eat it in the cold. And it's in the lower hall at the Veterans Center. It's in the bottom basement hall in the back. And it is going to be premium parking, so if you can carpool and come get your car later, that might be a good idea. All right, so let me get all the veterans up here. If you're a veteran, come on up.
Scott, right? Yes. How you doing? Who are you? Good to see you. Steve. Nice to meet you. My birthday. Don't worry. I don't. I think
Now you got something to yell at him. That is so awesome. Put some other things down. And then they'll be like, when they get home, oh, what's there there?